see, was he gave the Torah to Klal Yisrael. And when he gave the Torah to Klal Yisrael, he told Moshe Rabbeinu beforehand, I want you to prepare Klal Yisrael for this Torah. And I'm going to tell you what. I'm going to tell you what to tell them. Kodesh Baruch tells Moshe Rabbeinu, and say what I tell you, not more and not less. And Kodesh Baruch tells Moshe Rabbeinu, tell Klal Yisrael that you saw what I did to Mitzrayim, and how much I did for you, how much I love you, how much I helped you out in Mitzrayim. Therefore now, if you listen to me, and you'll be Shomer my bris, Shomer the Torah, and then you will be for me the pearl among the nations. And you'll be a nation of priests and a holy nation. So these are the words, not more, not less. What was the Indian of telling Klal Yisrael that you're going to be a nation of priests, a nation that has kedusha? How was that important for Moshe Rabbeinu to tell Klal Yisrael before Kabbalah HaTorah that Kodesh Baruch Hu told him, tell them these words? What was the significance of these words? We find that when the Torah was given, one of the Aser HaDibros was Lo Sachmai, not to be chayim, not to covet things which are not which another man's wife, another man's possessions. And Ibn Ezra asks, and many ask, this is an emotion. A person wants something else. He desires, has a strong desire for something else. How could the Torah forbid a desire? That's automatic. A person wants, he wants. So Ibn Ezra says, he gives a mushal, an analogy. He says that a farmer boy will not want the princess of the kingdom, because he knows he has no connection to this. He'll never have her. How much he'll try, he'll never have her in his life. A thing which a person knows that's totally out of the question of having, one doesn't have a desire. A desire is for something which he feels is possible for him to get. Then he can have a lust. Because that means a lust. You can have like a crazy one. But talking about lust, that it bothers you. You have a desire which is pushing you. That can only be something which you feel you can do. If you can't do it all, if that's not your thing, a person might want to be an astronaut. But he doesn't have a lust to be an astronaut. He doesn't feel he can. That's how much. If it's how much you can do, and he knows it might be in your hands, then you can have a lust for it. Otherwise, not. Ibn Ezra says the mitzvahs and the isurim b'Kodesh Baruch Hu have to be in your mind, that there's something that cannot be done. It just cannot be done. Once you have put into your mind a mindset, it cannot be done. There's a wall here. You just can't cross the wall. Then you'll have no lust. This was what the Ibn Ezra said. The Shiva Slobodka, my wife's grandfather, the Vaidik Sher, that's the street which ran of Sher, he was the name, first of Shiva Slobodka here, Mecca soil. He was from the Alto Slobodka. He had a certain tiny on Vaidik, on the Ibn Ezra. He said the Moshe should be the other way around. There should be a farmer girl with a prince. That a prince doesn't want a farmer girl. Now, what the Vaidik was saying was not that that he wanted to make the mushal that the Klal Yisrael was famous to the prince instead of being famous to the farmer boy. He was giving a different way of combating the Yetzer Hara. There's one way of combating the Yetzer Hara because of what the Ibn Ezra says. Put a mindset that's impossible to do, and then you won't do it. But there's a different way also. A farmer boy will not want a princess because he also cannot have her. A prince can have anything he wants in the country, in his kingdom, and he won't want to have the farmer girl because it's not suitable for a prince to take a farmer girl. It's not suitable for him to have a girl who's not royalty. He has to have royalty. less than that is not suitable. A person who knows his own personal chshivas, his own personal value and worth and greatness, will not do certain type of things. Another way of combating the Yetzer Hara is knowing one's worth. I'll give to you the words of my Rebbe, Rabban Kotler, what he said, which is the same idea. And he speaks about a different pasha with the same idea that HaKadosh Baruch Hu tells Klal Yisrael, know that you are my children. You are my children. I am the king and you are my children. You are the princes in my kingdom. Kedoshim to you. You are holy. And the Rabban tells us that Chayiv Odom Lizboinen Ulahakir HaChashivus HaGdolos Yedu B'Atzmuso. A person is supposed to think in and realize his own personal chshivus, his own personal, how worthy a person is, and how worthy a person in Klal Yisrael is. And then he said, Zeu Goyim Godel Vikori. This is a tremendous reason and cause for a person to do acts which are worthwhile acts by knowing his worth. If a person knows that he's not, if we know that we are special people, that we are princes in the kingdom of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and we think a little bit what's going on here. We have a world. We have HaKadosh Baruch Hu created the world. The HaKadosh Baruch Hu is mashgiach at every minute going on in the world. And this HaKadosh Baruch Hu took us 3,263 years ago. He took us as the Am HaNivchar, as the chosen people. Chosen people, we're not the smartest people. We're very smart, really, but that doesn't mean chosen. We're not the smartest people. Chosen people were chosen to be his emissaries, to do the mitzvahs, to show the world what is morality, to show the world what is goodness, what is chesed. That's what we're chosen for that. We're special people chosen for this mission, to disseminate emunah in the world. That's our job. That's the job of Klal Yisrael. And we think of ourselves in this way, that we are the princes of in this kingdom of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. The Bonim Latet Hashem Lakechem. That's a tremendous way that we can be kind of Torah. The Torah has many mitzvahs, and the Torah, the learning Torah, is one of them. And that is a way, as the Rabbeinu Yonah says, that everybody has laziness of the machshava. To think and to study, to learn Torah, requires a tremendous amount of mental power. And people are lazy for that. They'd rather do something else. They'd rather watch a basketball game than to sit around and learning a piece of Gemara. Tremendous amount of mental power. Everybody has it. He said, Rabbi Yonah said on himself. How do we overcome that? How do we say, well, I'm going to break that, I'm going to do it? Know who you are. You're not a snap person. You're a Ben HaKadosh Baruch Hu. You're a person that has a certain mission on this world. We are different. We have to reach a tremendous high madregas. And then a person can do it. And in reality, there are two. Even Ezra is one way we can fight the Yetzer Hara, by giving us a mindset that is out of the question. Or a second way, a better way, and a higher way, is by giving us ourselves our understanding of who we are. If we know who we are, Chazal tells us Choviv, HaKadosh Baruch Hu is Choviv. HaKadosh is Choviv to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. HaKadosh Baruch Hu loves us. And then it says there's a special liking to us. Why? Because He told us that He loves us. Chazal tells us. By telling us He loves us, we know that how much He loves us, and He told us. That gives us a feeling we're not some people. We're people HaKadosh Baruch Hu loves. That's what we told Moshe Rabbeinu to tell them. I took you out of Mitzrayim. I carried you on the wings of the eagle. How much I loved you. We know that we're a nation that HaKadosh Baruch Hu has a special love to, and you're a holy nation. You're a nation of priests. Know that, and that'll give you a way to fight the Yetzer Hara. Then he can do the Torah. I'm giving you a Torah which is very hard to do. You can fight it. Fight the Yetzer Hara because you know you're a special person. You have to learn Torah. And it's hard. You can fight that Yetzer Hara of Atzlus, Shraga. By knowing that you're a special person. You want to become close to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, you're a prince, and the Torah makes you close. That was he told me. Tell them, how much I love you. And tell them how great you are. You're Mamlechas Kohanim B'Goy Kodesh. That is the prerequisite for Klal Yisrael to know in order to become a Torah. And now, in a few days, you're going to become a Torah. And every time has a special. Every time in the world, whatever happened in those days, the world has today. It's easier for Klal Yisrael to reach those madregas which happened then. Now is the time we can reach the madrega of inculcating into our being that we are Mamlechas Kohanim B'Goy Kodesh, and that should be the work of ourselves in these few days. We should think about it. How much HaKadosh Baruch Hu loves us, and how big we are, and therefore how much we should recover on ourselves, that we can learn Torah, we can do mitzvahs, and wherever people are going, you're going out to the world. Those who are staying another year will have the help of the other year, but you have to have that Kabbalah to continue learning higher. Those that are going out in the world to university, you have a tremendous Yetzer Hara out there. The whole world is around you, finding you. The whole culture of the world is finding what we have to say here, what the Torah says. How are you going to fight them? Fight them. Never forget that you're different. That you're Am Kodesh and I'm Mamlechas Kohanim. If you remember that, then you can retain what you are, retain what you learned here in Eretz Yisrael. Remember what you learned here in Eretz Yisrael. Retain it by remembering this lesson. HaKadosh Baruch Hu should help you all to retain the lesson, become great, and continue your lives, whatever you're doing, but by retaining the Mamlechas Kohanim, remaining very, very frum Yidden, remaining always to learn. Even though to go to university should have a certain seder or limud every day to learn. Something you should learn every day, and then later in life to learn more and more as much as you can. Everybody here, even though he goes into work, but there are many people I know who are professional people who learn Torah and even write Svarim on Torah. Big lawyers and big engineers, and they learn Torah and they write Torah. It's not a contradiction at all. A person go out into the world and be totally big lawyers and big engineers, very, very rich men, and they put many hours a day in learning, and they up to the point that they learn and they can write Svarim on the Torah. This is how much everybody should know. Even those who go out into the world should not say, okay, now I'm finished. Remember who you are. You are Mamlechas Kohanim B'Goy Kodesh, and you can continue being. You're a Ben Torah. Continue to think of yourself as a Ben Torah. A Ben Torah who is very professional, has a beautiful house, has a nice life, but you're a Ben Torah, and you have strong kviyas itim l'Torah, and you're medactic b'mitzvahs. HaKadosh Baruch Hu should help you that you should have this Kabbalah Torah and have a wonderful life, a life of serving HaKadosh Baruch Hu and making Kiddush Hashem for HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Amen.